Well, greetings and welcome to this very special edition of Radio Free Professional Wrestling. We are doing a WrestleMania preview and prediction show. We're happy to have you along. Now, let's go around the horn here to introduce you to the panelists we have today. I have my good friend David, the Smart Mark, former co-host of Radio Free Professional Wrestling and among other radio shows in the UK. And we have the godfather of wrestling podcasts and Lee Tatters. Lee, welcome to this. It's been a while. We did one a few years back, and we thought, hey, why not do it again?
Yeah,
Lee,
absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait for this. It's always fun hooking up with you guys, especially talking wrestling on the biggest wrestling weekend of the year.
I know we're less than 24 hours away from WrestleMania beginning. And guys, I got to say, how do you feel about the build leading up to this WrestleMania?
We were talking about this a little bit off air, and I think when Vince stepped back and everyone was, oh, Vince is too old. We need to get him out, get some new blood in, get someone who knows what they're doing. Triple H is coming in. It's going to be exciting. And Triple H has done some great stuff, but yeah, I think looking at the card, there's two or three matches that they've put some real investment in. The rest of it feels like it's just been thrown together just to fill space, and I think that's a shame.
How do you feel about the addition of non wrestlers in this year's WrestleMania? We have a six-man match with ISO Speed, for example.
I mean, he takes a good spear, but that's about all. And he's fun on YouTube, and I guess you've got Logan Paul who's going to bring in the sort of TikTok generation of people and the YouTubers. iShow Speed will do the same, but for a match with the Vision, who are supposed to be kind of the big heel. I know that they've lost several people along the way, but they're supposed to be the big heel group in WWE at the moment. Throwing him in there just seems like it is going to lead to some kind of big spot, I guess, just for Speed to get absolutely destroyed. The Pat McAfee thing I'll get onto later because that's weird. I'm sure there's other people that we're going to see involved in matches as well, which again I'll get onto.
David, you have any thoughts?
Hello. How are we? It's good to see you. I tell you what, I am sat opposite on a computer. One down the south of England, one in the Smoky Mountains himself. It make Jim Cornette roll over and have his belly rubbed. And I've been there. It's just, you two chatter on, and I'm just going to sit and look lovingly at the pair of you because I don't want to talk about WrestleMania because this year's Shawn, get the jar out. This year's is Twonk. There you go. I've calmed myself down. You talk about the celebrities, and to top it up, we got a boneless chicken giblet singing the national anthem. Who could Joe Boneless or whatever his name is, or Ben Boneless, or
Who?
the member of the Jonas Brothers who's doing the national anthem.
Oh,
Get in just for that bit of extra celebrity, Sean. No, it's not for me. The one that more than anything, Logan Paul's proved himself. Right, I'll give Logan Paul a pass.
Well, speaking of
Um,
love,
Pat McAfee, I'm probably going down the same route as you two. Lee already touched on it. Um, I don't blame Pat McAfee for the heat he's getting at the moment. It's the booking, but we'll come on to that.
well, no
The
time.
one that, sorry, Sean.
Well, I was going to go to the first match as it's the six-man tag match. We've already been talking about this a little bit. It's Division, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, your Raw Tag Team Champions with ISO Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight.
yeah.
I think Matthew from Macho Mania is going to get a 30-minute special out of this WrestleMania. I really do. The one yeah, this will be, yeah. You summed it up, Sean. You didn't have to. It'll be awful. I'm going to go in there. It'll be awful, but I think the Usos and LA Knight will win for a crowd-pleasing opening pop.
Lee, what do you say?
Yeah, again, it's going to be fun. There'll be some crazy spots. I'm sure iShow Speed will leap off of something and get destroyed. Logan Paul is famous for doing that sort of stuff, and you're kind of TikTok reel friendly little clips. I'm sure there'll be a few of those coming from Logan Paul. I really like Logan Paul. As David said, I think he's great. He came in under a lot of scrutiny, but he's absolutely proved himself so far. Austin Theory, I think, is great. Just needs to develop his character a little bit more. The Usos have kind of
they've never been very good. They're under the Roman Reigns ring. Let's face it, they're under the Roman Reigns wing. So the LA Knight is probably the poorest one out of the lot, because he could have, should have, would have. He's talented. He's got the character. He's over with the crowd. He should have been higher up the bill.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. But there is one prediction I've got for this match. And it's based off of that flag football thing they did over in Saudi Arabia, I think, with Logan Paul was in it, Tom Brady was in it, and they had a bit of a kayfabe coming together and some trash talking on the field. Of course, this takes place in Las Vegas, the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, owned by, or part owned by, I think, Tom Brady. I'm sure at some point Tom Brady is going to be at ringside and gets involved in this match, maybe not physically, or just a distraction or something like that to cause the Vision to lose. That's my prediction.
Well, I'm going out on a prediction. I think ISO Speed will be the one taking the pin here.
Yeah.
I think the Usos and LA Knight will win this match. Now, this is a far cry from last year's WrestleMania, where you had Jey Uso in the main event for one of the world titles. Now, he probably would be in the six-man tag match, which would probably open up night one of WrestleMania.
Great point. Great point.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they tried it. You know, if you've watched the, what's it, the unscripted or whatever it is, the show. You know, Triple H was very much behind the Uso push. It's good for the kids; they can all yeet and all the rest of it. But it ends there for me. He's not a top guy as far as I'm concerned. And that isn't to say he can be a good wrestler. He can have good matches, but he's just not at that level. They've given him the opportunity. He's just not managed to hold on to it and make it as good as I think they were hoping.
Let's move on to match number 2. It's the unsanctioned match. It's Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. One of the matches I'm looking forward to on night one.
Go on, Dave.
I'm not, because you know the result. We all know the result. Drew's going off to film Highlander. He's taking time out. I hate this when that happens. I like to at least question how they're going to book. And in this case, Fatu's going to go over. They have something against. I don't know what Drew's done, whether he's too honest. And I'm talking career long here. I'm talking career long. And no. So anyway, get to the point. Yeah, it'll be decent. It'll be probably quite violent, but Jacob Fatu wins.
I feel exactly the same. I think, Jacob Fatu is they're developing into one of the big faces, aren't they? They want an Umaga-style big babyface monster to destroy people, a new fresh face as well. Again, completely agree with Drew. If you look over the last 2 or 3 years, probably longer than that, and it's not just from a character perspective. He himself, his position in WWE, he just comes in, loses, despite being one of the probably best talents they've got on top to bottom on the roster. But again, we know Drew is leaving to do Highlander. He's already done some filming so far, but I think his big chunk of filming is coming up soon. So I can see it coming up with Fatu winning in dominant style and McIntyre possibly leaving on a stretcher or something like that, just so he's got storyline time to not be on TV, and that'll enable him to go away and come back fresh after the movie.
I think this would be a launching board for Jacob Fatu as we head into the summer, and maybe send him up to upper mid card to main event level and be one challenger for whoever comes out of WrestleMania as the champions.
I'd just like to ask you two a question quickly.
Go on.
Regarding the Highlander film.
Yep.
Do they have the opening scene in Madison Square Gardens with the Freebirds wrestling?
Just like the original. They might do something like that.
Original. Yeah, I'd probably be in MSG with the Usos wrestling anyway. Yeah. Sorry, Shawn. It just came to me with Highlander, that's all.
Okay, we'll move on to the next match, which is the Women's World Title match. It's Steffi Vakir versus Liv Morgan. I really want to trying to make a case for Vakir retaining the title, but I really feel like Liv Morgan is going to be the one carrying the day here. If you saw the last Raw before Mania, they had a pull apart brawl, and Liv Morgan debuted a new song. So I feel like they're going to put the title on Morgan. So for the social media buzz.
Go on, Dave. I can see you itching to pull this one to pieces.
No. It's not my bag. I'm not a fan of either. The fact that you could even consider that Liv Morgan could beat Stephanie Vaquer just by physical size and look. And I know we're living in the world of pro wrestling. Obviously, I know this, but it's not for me. It will be a bathroom break one or a try to stay awake one for me. But I still think, gut feeling, I do agree with Shawn in that I think Liv Morgan goes over.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And again, I'm a huge supporter of Stephanie Vaquer. I think she's great. I think she's done a good job with the championship. Obviously, the language barrier is the only thing that holds her back very slightly from connecting properly with the fans and cutting those really amazing promos that the fans are really behind. Liv Morgan, as she's always been very mid for me. She's, Timu, Margot Robbie. But again, if you want the glossy picture of, hey, this is WWE, this is our women's champion, you want Liv Morgan up there because she looks hot, blonde, attractive. She's got a new song out. That's from the merch perspective and the promotional juggernaut of WWE. That's the person you want to strap on all of your posters. So yeah, Liv Morgan.
Okay, let's move over to the women's IC title match. Is AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, and a weird build up to this feud. No presence on the Raw before Mania. What does AJ Lee do after this? Is she on the Raw after Mania? I'm not sure. I kind of feel like they may flip the title back over to Becky.
Go on, Lee.
Okay, so I think that Becky doesn't need a championship. That's obvious. She's a character in herself. Yeah, she's hugely strong in whatever she does. She's entertaining all the time. She can work in the ring. She's amazing, and she seems to be happy doing as little or as much as she's needed to do in WWE. If she's not on TV so much, she's got her family. She's happy to stick beside Seth, backstage. I think one of the keys here is whether or not AJ Lee is looking to stick around as an on-screen character for a long period of time. If she is, I think she's going to retain. But if she loses the championship, I think that's probably the last we'll see of her on TV as a wrestler for a little while. She might come back for odd things to help out Punk or mixed tags or something like that. But I think it's all storyline wise, it makes sense for AJ to get the better of the dastardly Becky Lynch, and because Becky is best when she is humiliated and freaking out because she lost and thinks it's unfair and all of that. That's comedy gold, and Becky always makes it work. But AJ, she's a bit rusty, which is fine because she's been not in the ring for so long, but she has got that. Number one, she's got a great character, identifies with the kids love her, and she's got that Mrs. CM Punk vibe as well. So again, she's a good merch seller. It's a difficult one, but I think AJ Lee retains. Dave?
Shawn,
Yes.
you've got me to talk about Becky Lynch.
I did not make this part.
What normally happens when I talk... Right, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think AJ Lee loses because I think Lee mentioned it. She's not going to be on a regular card. I think Becky Lynch goes over this one. I will hate that because I hate Becky Lynch with a passion, as Shawn well knows, and I find very, very rarely anything good to say about her. This is historical. Listen to Radio Free Pro Wrestling's history package. You'll know what. Well, you won't know why because I can't broadcast the reasons why I personally don't like her, and it is personal. So, unfortunately, it hurts to say it, but Wrestling Logic thinks, for me, Becky goes over in this match.
So we'll move over to a match that has a little question to it. It's the Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag team titles. Right now, Nikki Bella is still not cleared from what we know. So the Bella twins' interaction in this match may not happen. They may fit the Kabuki Warriors in here as the fourth team. But as it stands right now, it's Nia Jax Last Legend versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria and the Bella Twins. Going into this, without knowing about the injury, I was saying the Bella Twins were going to come out with the tag team title belts because for that nostalgia pop and run.
Yeah. Okay. I see why you're going with that. I'm going to respectfully disagree with this one. I so two things I think kind of sell this match. I mean, Bailey and Lyra Valkyria are obviously pretty popular with the fans. They're always going to get a pop and a great entrance and all the rest of it. I think Bella Twins. I don't think Nikki will wrestle. But the positive you've got about WrestleMania weekend is there are so many WWE legends, male and female, in Las Vegas at the moment. There are people like Tori Wilson. There are people like Trish Stratus who could step in and fill that void of a Attitude Era or whatever Ruthless Aggression Era female to tag with Brie. And still get that same sort of retro pop. So I think that's going to happen. But I really think this is all a vehicle for the inevitable crumbling of the Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss relationship. I hope Alexa, I don't want her to properly realign with the Wyatt Six or anything like that, but I think it's time to bring back the more demonic side of Alexa Bliss, and she can, as a face, and then give a load of grief to Charlotte Flair. I think that would be a fun feud.
Yes, this unlikely friendship between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss has been carried on for like at least 6 months now.
So, yeah. Dave, what do you think?
Right.
You don't think anything about this, do you?
You've got 8 female wrestlers, of which 2 of them can justify themselves professional wrestlers. I mean, literally, Charlotte Flair and, it's certainly Bailey, sorry. I think are the only 2 that can probably justify themselves female wrestlers. This is going to be a absolute disaster for one reason and one reason only. It's got Nia Jax in it.
True.
It's not. I'm not a fan of Lyra Valkyrie. I don't see the hype by her. The Bella Twins, yeah. I mean, you can't argue with the Bella Twins. If, as Shawn said, if there's no injury issues going in, if, as Shawn said, I wasn't aware of that. I must admit, every day's a school day, Mr. Burkhead. Well done. The Bella Twins are the obvious ones to win it for me if they're fit. They are, and I would hate it, like most people, but they are the obvious ones to win it. Personally, I think you're right about the Charlotte and Alexa Bliss split up. It's been coming, it's coming. So I think the champions retain.
Well, that's an interesting choice, David. I feel like they put this 4-way together so they could protect Nia Jax and Last Legends. They don't have to take the fall in the match. If I had to think somebody to take the fall here, I would probably think Lyra Valkyria would take the fall.
Yeah,
If
or
they-
one of the best.
True, fair point. So let's move on to a match that we wouldn't have got if it wasn't for a couple of injuries to like Barn Breaker and whoever Gunther was going to wrestle. We have Seth Rollins versus Gunther, which should be a fine professional wrestling match. David knows where I probably would go with who would win this match.
I do.
I feel like
I'll kick this off because this is one of the plus points for me. Everyone's going, well, what are they doing this for? What are they doing that for? So, this match intrigues me because it's both of theirs first match back, and this isn't AEW. So you don't know who's going over here. Genuinely. If any of you 2 pick that correctly and drag that out correctly, I will just personally bow down. Because I don't know. Gunther's coming back off injury. Obviously, he's been at home with his gorgeous wife, his lovely family. He's a complete family man. He's a lovely father. Sorry, Shawn. No, Shawn's rather. I'll fill you in, Lee. You're probably Shawn's rather a fan of Ginny.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching her last night, actually. Not in a weird way, but on a progress show. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, gut feeling is Seth goes over. If I had to pull a name out, I think this will be match of the night on night 1.
Yes, I agree. It's going to be a match on night one. Now, the question I've got for you guys is, what is the favor that Gunther is going to get from Paul Heyman if Gunther is able to beat Seth Rollins?
It's got to be world title shot, surely.
That's why I feel like, too, or he would be in the corner of Gunther for this world title match if CM Punk was the one coming out of WrestleMania still as the champion.
Go for it. I mean, I I love Seth Rollins. Again, the match has been thrown together, but what else are you going to do? It's circumstance. You can't leave Gunther and Seth Rollins off WrestleMania, and there weren't any other obvious opponents, so they've kind of put together a storyline to make it work. I think it will be a good match. My one concern is possibly the clash of styles between the two of them. I'd be interested to see sort of how the match flows. There's obviously going to be a lot of Seth Rollins doing a lot of selling and having his ass kicked for the majority of the match, I would think. I know Gunther's done a lot. I know he is, and again, speaking of progress, again, a progress original, and that's where he made his mark. But I've never been the biggest Gunther fan. I get the hype. I do understand it. It's just me that I'm not totally sold on him. I just don't enjoy watching Gunther matches, and that's just me. Not saying that he's wrong for being in the position he is. He's obviously working. I'd like to see Gunther win. I think storyline wise, and again he'll get that favor, which surely is a world title match or something. Who knows? We'll find out that after Mania, I guess.
Well, we're moving over to the undisputed WWE Championship match. This was a match on paper I was looking forward to, and for most of the build to WrestleMania until the very end, where we add Pat McAfee. So now it's Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. Why do we have to add Pat to this?
Go on, Dave.
I have not a clue. All my wrestling logic and all my years of watching wrestling, I have not a clue. Like everyone else, I was surprised when it was Pat. I've actually got no issues with Pat. I quite liked him as a commentator, and when he got in the ring, he gave it due diligence and was respectful. This, I think it's fair to say, has fallen on its arse. Big star. Personally, gut feeling, Randy Orton goes over, and it will be Randy Orton, there's nothing Randy Orton can do to be a heel at this moment in point. He's going to be a face. If anything, Cody's going to go in there slightly heelish. I don't know. Got feeling this Randy goes over, Randy wins the title. What they're going to do with Cody, I don't know. But Pat McAfee, we could have done with that and just had it a straight headline-making match. Because it is.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's sorry, Shawn, I'd cut you off there. Go for it.
I was saying, I feel like these two are going to have a heck of a match. I was hoping that they would not have need a bell or a whistle. And if Pat McAfee gets involved, it'll be the third time in the success of WrestleMania where we have Cody versus somebody for a world title, where Cody needs to overcome the odds of.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I think I'm gonna dive on the David bandwagon here, and I think again, whenever they do something like this, Cody, Randy's on the phone to someone. He's on the phone to someone. Who is it? Like the Danhausen. As good as Danhausen was, people were always going to be disappointed about what came out of that box because people had been debating it for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's definitely Chris Jericho. It's Vince McMahon. It's The Rock. So whoever Randy was on the phone to, we're thinking Cowboy Bob Orton, Ted DiBiase Jr., Vince McMahon, even, anyone like that it could have been. Again, haven't got anything against Pat McAfee. I love the energy he's brought into WWE, but I think whoever it was going to be revealed was always going to be a disappointment. I think Randy gets number 15. He gets the 15 world titles. I think I'm going, and this is a bold statement here. I'm going that it's going to be a Stone Cold Bret Hart WrestleMania 13 switch in this match. Orton comes out. He is the heel, but he is massively cheered. Cody loses and is soundly booed, and then we see the start of the inevitable, which we've been waiting for a little while now. Cody heel turn, and he's going to go full on Homelander and diss the fans for not supporting him and cheering Randy Orton because even though he's done all these horrible things, and that's what I'd like to see from it. What happens with McAfee, I don't know what his involvement would be, but that's what I'm hoping for.
How would you, Shawn? How would you feel about, because you're a big traditionally Cody fan? How would you feel about Cody heel turn?
It's kind of like the same thing with Randy Orton trying to be a heel coming into this match. I mean, I feel like they're both at a point in their career where nobody really wants to boo them, but I can see it'd be interesting to see Cody flip here and do like the WrestleMania 13 thing where at the end of the match they basically flip the script here.
It's interesting. I think Cody, for me, right now, is at the point where he was just before he left AEW when the fans were starting to turn him. And it was maybe his last 2-3 months in AEW. They started tweaking his character a little bit to where he was like, why don't you like me? Why don't you like me? I'm doing everything for you guys. I would like to see them bring in something like that. And I think that's the way. What else can Cody do realistically now? Just keep the belt and go against the same people and beating them left, right. It's Cody Rhodes champion fatigue at this point. They need to make some changes.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that point because you look at the SmackDown main event scene, Cody's already had matches with everybody that would be deemed worthy of that title shot. Randy Orton versus Jacob Fatu would be kind of interesting, or Orton versus anybody else in that main event scene on SmackDown. Let's go before we go to night 2. Are we all in agreement that Seth Rollins versus Gunther might be match of the night for night 1, or do you have another one that might be a match of the night candidate?
I'm thinking, I mean, it depends what you're looking for in a match. I think work rate wise, yeah, Seth Rollins and Gunther. Again, as I said earlier, sort of TikTok viral clip. It's going to be the Vision against the Usos and LA Knight. There'll be a lot of fun spots that come out of that. And I think from the promotion side of things, it's going to be Cody and Orton. That's going to be the big match from their point that would carry the night over. But yeah, it is difficult. But yeah, certainly work rate wise, if we're going full Meltzer, I think Rollins and Gunther is going to be the highest number of stars. Let's put it that way.
Full Meltzer. That's a sandwich, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to have a full Meltzer, please. No cheese. Go on.
Okay, so opening up night 2 is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. It's Femi versus Brock Lesnar, and for all the hate we've been giving the build to WrestleMania, this is one match they absolutely figure out how to do it right, and the build has gone well. And this is the match I'm looking forward to the most in the WrestleMania setup.
Go on, Dave. You're itching for this, aren't you? Go on.
I hate this. I am sorry, my friend. My Knoxville night, I'm so sorry. It's not often this happens, but I couldn't be in the complete opposite corner anymore. One simple reason. I agree with you about the build. The build, out of all of the matches, they have built this, or they've tried to build this. What it lacks is Femi can't wrestle. For me, I've hated him in NXT. It's just because he's big. You mentioned the Umaga type character. He's another Ron Simmons. I'm getting angry just thinking about it. And do you know what? Brock Lesnar's going to look at the lights for him because Brock don't give a stuff anymore. He'll just take the money and laugh and go home to Sable, which wouldn't we all? Femi is not ready for this yet. My opinion, and my opinion only. If it upsets you, I'm sorry. And I hate to be so far removed from Shawn because it doesn't happen very often. But I am. I don't want to see this at all because I don't want to see Brock lie down for him.
So I can't talk you into like this being the start of the Femi World Champion build.
Nice try. I just don't like. I've not enjoyed it, and it is because of Femi. I love Brock. I love the Brock because he doesn't give a Brock, and you know the attitude, the swagger. He doesn't care what he says. I like the fact he's back with Heyman, But I just don't think Obafemi is ready. And I think, and I hope I'm wrong, right, guys? Let me say this. I'm not just doing it for the sake of it. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that match it won't be long for a start. And I hope it just gets through it, if you know what I mean. Sorry, Lee.
No, you're absolutely fine. I share similar opinion with you on this one. I think WWE was scrabbling to try and get people some new blood into WWE. Obafemi was the most ready. That doesn't mean he is ready, but he was the most ready out of some of the people in NXT. I think whatever happens in this match, people are going to be annoyed. Oh, Brock Lesnar beat Obafemi. Oh, they squashed him on his debut. If Obafemi wins, what the hell is Obafemi doing beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? To me, Obafemi, he's got. I don't like the character. For me, he sort of comes across like Saba Simba 2026. But and the walk, how are you supposed to take that seriously? Like
Timu Moose.
Yeah, that's right. That is absolutely right. Timu Moose. I'd give him another 6 months, send him back down into NXT, repackage him, strip off, just have him like. I remember Monty Brown in TNA back in the day. That's the sort of presentation that we need for Obafemi. I think he's got potential. He's not there yet. If he loses to Brock Lesnar, that crushes him. If he wins against Brock Lesnar, he's always going to be that guy. Why did they give him a win over Lesnar? He's not ready. Again, unless, speaking of the double turn here, Heyman maybe screws over Brock Lesnar and ends up with Obafemi, and you get a monster big heel. That's the only positive thing I can see that maybe come out of this, because then you could look past the work rate of Obafemi, because it'd all be about promos and character. So I don't know.
So let's move on to the IC title match. It's a 6-pack ladder match. You got Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. I feel like Penta should come out of this okay and should retain his IC title. If I had to take one of the 6 as the victor, how about you guys?
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I do feel, though, this is a showcase for Javon Evans. Complete showcase for Javon Evans to get over his skills. But I do agree with you, Shawn. Penta eventually retains. Excuse me, Tim.
I feel sorry for Rusev. He's kind of just been thrown in there. Like, there's all these guys that are going to be flipping around all over the place. And, even JD McDonough can do a lot of good aerial stuff. High risk stuff, and Rusev is just there. He's going to be the guy, presumably, that's throwing around ladders and nailing people with them. I certainly go with Dave, your prediction of Penta. The only thing that I'm thinking might alter that is if Rey is starting to slow down. Obviously, there's already rumors about him retiring this year, next year. Maybe they put the belt on him, and then that leads into a final retirement series with Dominic Mysterio potentially. With Dom finally winning the Intercontinental Championship from Rey. But again, I think it is just a showcase for big spots. This will be the spot fest of night 2. And I like all the people involved in it, but if I was booking it, I'd probably say, Penta. That they've got a big merch push behind him, and the promotion is behind him. Everyone loves doing the walk. He's the guy. So I think, Penta will win.
So let's move on to the WWE Women's Championship match. It's Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. And I'm probably going to go against the grain here. I think Jade's going to come out of this with the title. She's going to retain Rhea because this is the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I feel like they wouldn't want to move Rhea Ripley over to SmackDown.
Yeah, what do you think, Dave?
Personally, I think I'd love to see Rhea Ripley win. I love Rhea Ripley. She reminds us a lot of somebody that Shawn and you will know now. Rio. She reminds me a lot of Rio, a taller version of Rio in England. How the hell she's not been picked up by an American company at the moment, God only knows. But anyway, I think it's going to be the best women's match of the weekend, without a shadow. I like Jade Cargill, considering how she was introduced in AEW. She's come on in so much leaps and bounds. Personally, just out of heart over head, I'd like to see Rhea Ripley retain, but I think this will be decent.
Yeah, I think so. Rhea Ripley's has Rhea been like massively injured over the last? I know she had a problem with her. What was it? Was it a eye injury or something?
She's had an eye injury, a leg injury, and elbow injury, I believe. Shawn, you're normally
Okay.
good with this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean she's lost a lot of size, a massive amount of size, which is what Rhea Ripley was all about. She was massive, muscled up girl, and she's lost a lot of that. Not saying that's impacted her performance at all. Jade Cargill, if you want to look at a professional wrestler, that's her on a poster. She looks
Yeah.
amazing visually. Her work as she was leaving AEW was dreadful, and they gave her the push when she wasn't ready. She's now got the benefit of the performance center and lots of people, making sure she's doing the right things, making sure she's not attempting things that she can't do properly. That they're protecting her really well. I'd like to see Rhea win it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do keep it on Jade Cargill, because she's worked hard to get there, and she does deserve it.
It's one of those you can't complain, in my opinion, you can't complain either way, but it's just heart says Rhea for me.
Yeah.
Shawn, are you there?
Yeah, I feel like it's going. I feel like Jade having the victory over it'll be a big feather in her cap. So I will stay with my pick of Jade Cargill retain her WWE Women's Championship. Let's move on to the United States title match, and this might be a match where we see the actual heel face diamond flip, because Sami Zayn will be
Yeah.
coming into the match as a face, but he cannot deny the fact that the fans are behind Trick Williams. Whoop that trick is the, has caught on.
Go on, Lee.
Okay. I know people are trying to kind of liken Sami Zayn to Daniel Bryan, and he was the undersized guy who didn't look like a wrestler and all the rest of it. But I'm done with Sami Zayn. I really am. Nothing against his work. I just don't see him as a superstar, and he just doesn't fit. His face doesn't fit at the moment for me. Trick Williams is definitely, he's got a rocket on him. Everyone loves him. I can't see any other result other than him coming out with the belt.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just want to see Sami Zayn pull the mask out and then Kevin Steen come in from the crowd. Sod Trick Williams off, and they actually have an ROH circuit 1999 banger with some ladders. I think Lee. Sorry, I'll digress. I think Lee summed it up. Yeah, that's pretty much. I think Williams has got the crowd on him. He's got a rocket on him, and he is talented. Let's face it. He's one of the. Him and G-Von have been the two probably NXT successes to come up in recent months. So yeah, but I can't argue with that, Lee.
So let's move on to the Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, and they have already gave us the hint that Finn Balor is going to challenge into the Demon for this match. I wish they would have left this for a surprise on WrestleMania weekend instead of advertising, "Oh, Finn's going to be the Demon."
Yeah, completely agree with that. It would be great if Finn had his old his Judgment Day music and all the rest of it, and the Judgment Day Titantron, and you do the thing when the music plays and no one comes out. Dom's in the ring going, "Where is he? Where is he? He's chickened out. He's chickened out." Lights go out, and then you get the Demon entrance, and he's like, "Holy sugar lumps! There's the Demon." I was not prepared for this, and then the crowd would have gone mad. Like,
Yeah.
What a moment that would have been. Again, talk about WrestleMania moments. Like, do you remember back at WrestleMania 42 when we had the return of the Demon out of nowhere? That would have been great. I think it's a match that's been long coming. I hope it delivers from a storyline perspective. I really hope Finn wins. I really want Finn doing more in WWE.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Finn will win. I think it should be one of the matches of the night because they're two really, really talented guys, both personality and ring wise. Dominic's very underrated in the ring, but I do think Finn comes out on top, and this will be one of my two matches of the night.
I'm going to take Dominic Mysterio for the upset win here.
Ooh.
I'm going to go against the grain. I feel like this would be another great feather in the cap for Dominic Mysterio if you're trying to move Dominic Mysterio up the ladder. And why not defeat the
Okay.
demon Finn Balor and Dominic can come on Mania, the Raw after Mania and just brag all about, oh look, Finn Balor had to use the demon, but it still could not get the job done.
Yeah, fair one.
That's a good
Just,
twist
I
on it.
can't argue with that at all. And then that could easily happen. Yeah, can't argue with that at all. Good thinking, Sean.
We're down to the last match. It's the World Heavyweight Championship match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. They actually might touch finally because this build up to the Mania has been not a world title level build.
It's a funny one, isn't it? They are arguably two of the biggest stars in WWE at the moment, with the exception of Cody, I guess. But again, I can't see unless something happens that is really left field here. People will complain that the old guy CM Punk beat Roman Reigns and retain the title. They will also complain if Roman, the part timer, comes back and wins the title again, and how boring is that? I still think there's more story to be told here, and I don't know how they're going to do it. They're both great workers. They're both great performers. Again, from a believability perspective, I can't see how there's going to be any other outcome other than Roman physically squashing Punk. You know, if you're looking at it like this little CM Punk guy who's 40 something years old against this giant guy Roman Reigns, he's going to get destroyed. And for it to be any other thing than that is going to be really difficult to make it believable. But I wish Roman was back to being a, you know, at least once every other couple of weeks a regular character on TV, because that's what it needs. That's what the title needs. And again, I know Punk's referred to that. He's there every week. He's doing the promos. He's fighting. He is the fighting champion, and he is, again, he's on the cover of the WWE game. The promotion is behind him at the moment. I don't know. It's a really difficult one to call.
I'm going to call it CM Punk wins. It'll be a belter, but for the very reasons you've just said, Lee, I think Punk has to retain because they will lose momentum because Roman, at the end of the day, excuse me, guys, is boring as world champion.
Yeah.
And as well, ask yourself this: if Roman does retain, who comes after him next as the next challenger? There isn't anyone.
No.
So I think Punk's got to, and I think Punk holds it maybe till SummerSlam. That'd be the way I would look at it, and it's changed with whoever at SummerSlam, and this possibly could be where the push, whether I like it or not, of Obafemi comes in. It gives them 3 or 4 months to get Obafemi better, moreover. You know what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
And
Build up a bit.
to be a credible, because then you talk about the differentiating size, which you're absolutely right, Lee. In size, you imagine Punk versus Oba.
Yeah.
You know.
A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more believable. Again, I think you've got the way they'd have to play it out in the match is that Punk's a little bit more experienced, and he'll use his old school ways of sort of sneaking wins out and trying to get the better of Roman psychologically. I think you're right, David. I think it's I'd go with, if I was booking it, I would definitely go with Punk. But again, where does that leave Roman?
Yeah, exactly. But Roman's made his own bed.
Yeah, true.
Along the lines, Sean, what do you think?
I kind of agree with you guys. I feel like CM Punk will be victorious here. I feel like Roman will be going back off for some vacation time. He's settled into that every so often, kind of like if when we need somebody, he can be that person to come back to get eyeballs to the tube.
It's hard. It's difficult. And they'll leave it another 6 months again and Survivor Series. Oh, guess who's come back? Roman Reigns. Yeah. And everyone's scared of him.
I think SummerSlam, Punk to SummerSlam. And I think it will be a very, very good match. There's no two ways about it. Like Roman or not, with his time off and what have you, the pair of them will put their best. It'll be a belter.
Yeah, you're right.
So, gentlemen, are we in agreement that the World Championship match might be the night 2 match of the night?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not going to have the flips and the dives and all the rest of it, but psychologically is going to be a very good pro wrestling match, I think, from a spectacle perspective.
Proper pro wrestling match, Lee, do you mean?
Yeah. Well, it'll have a bit of everything. They both know how to work. They both know how to handle a crowd. They can pick the pace up. They can bring it down. They can make it work from top to bottom.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been your WrestleMania 42 preview and prediction show here on Radio Free Professional Wrestling. Lee, where can we find you on the Super Information Superhighway?
The information superhighway. I've not heard that for a while. I am on all social media outlets as at Shalestorm76. And you can also find an intermittent show about British Speedway, about the Pool Pirates, my local team, 15heatslater.com. And that's 15heatslater.com. Check that out.
And David, where can we find you?
You can find me wherever my wife allows me to go, Shawn.
Not far.
Not far, yeah. That's a good job you both know her. She's just walked in. Gentlemen, can I put a proposal to you?
Go on.
We've made these predictions. We've made these surmisations. Do we review our predictions next week? A one-off, one show. Let's look at what we could have won.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. We're a place and date and time yet to be decided. But I'm up for that.
To the governor, Mr. Burkhead.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to see if we do the WrestleMania review show here on Radio Free Professional Wrestling. Until next time, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and enjoy your weekend of professional wrestling.